Today we'll explore how adding sessions to your event isn't just about inputting dates and times, but it's also about creating a framework that supports efficient planning, enhance the attendee experience, and ultimately contribute to the overall success of your event. As we'll also dive into how to pin and freeze sessions, brief batch enroll, and session tagging. Now, let me bring up my screen for you real quick. There you go. So there are two ways on how you can add sessions. So one is to add them individually by clicking the sessions button on the top right, which is going to be in here under schedule tab, and then we go into sessions subtab. Right here on the top right is where you see the add sessions button, just like that. Now, let's go ahead and create one and go through each of the fields to understand how they can be useful for your sessions. So first is title itself. Let's say something like what is AI? And then you can assign the date of the session itself. Let's say the 26th of December. So those first two fields are the required ones for you to be able to create the session. For the time, you can leave a TVA if, in case your session schedules are not finalized yet, but if it is, you can put in the session time as well, 8 to 9 a.m., for instance, which you can update still later on. And then we're going to assign the venue for this particular session. You can choose from your existing venues or add a new one by clicking the add venue in the drop-down list. So let's say we're going to click create one right now. Maybe ballroom. Or if your session venue has a exact physical address, you can assign it here as well. So we're going to hit add button to make sure it creates us a new venue. And then you also have the capacity field on the right-hand side where you can set the limit of the session attendees. If, for instance, you have maybe limited room capacity, let's say 30 attendees at the moment. And then under the attach people field is where you can assign people. Let's say you want to assign this session to Michael Chang as a speaker. You can select them from the drop-down list like that, or you can also type in the name. Say, yep, art speaker. And then below that is where you can put in the description for your session. Type is, or track is going to be the category of your session. So you can select your existing type from here or add a new one as well. Let's say AI in business at the moment. Subtype now is to narrow down your session type. So let's say for the subtype, we're going to create a new one here that would call maybe something like recorded. And then you hit the add button, and it's now assigned to this session. And in case your session is going to be a virtual session, under the video stream field is where you can put in your Zoom link. Or if it's recorded, this is where you can put in your video link. If it's hosted in YouTube, you can enter the direct YouTube link here. And then we have the toggle for session feedback. So if you'd like to collect feedback from the attendees for this particular session, you can toggle this on or toggle this off if you don't want for them to be able to submit their feedbacks. Let's toggle it on for this instance. And then we also have custom filters here, which is going to be by default up to 4, which are customizable as well, by you can rename them. Maybe you can put in here level instead of company. And then you hit save. And you can put in its value right under the field, say intermediate, and then you would add intermediate here. The same thing goes for the rest of the custom filters here. But you would also notice that we have some extras that you can add to your sessions, like photo. So if you have like maybe a session poster, you can have that added to the session as well. And for the file, this is where you can upload maybe your session presentation, like PowerPoint or PDF files. So you can upload it from here. And then filter in case the 4 custom filters are not sufficient. You can add one more. Same for the fields. If all the fields here have been used already, you can add one more field here, which you can also rename to something else, by typing in your preferred field name here. And then we have an option to add a custom button to your sessions, which is typically being used for custom survey feedback. So for instance, you are going to be using a Survey Monkey or a Google form rather than the default session feedback with 3 emoji faces. This is where you can put in your Google form link. And ticket message, this is going to be the message that the attendees will see when they attempt to add the session without the appropriate ticket. You can customize it here. And lastly, we have options to pin this particular session. So what this means is that the session will be automatically added to all attendees. So ideally, this is used for sessions that are required, to be added to all of your attendees. Maybe some introduction sessions or lunch break sessions. And then we also have an option to freeze the session as well. So what this does is it will prevent the attendees from adding the session or removing the session from their personal schedule if they have already added previously. So you can toggle either this option on here. And if you're ready to go ahead and publish this session, you can go ahead and click the publish button. But if not, you can just save it as draft so that it will be visible for the event admins for the meantime until you're ready to publish it later on. Let's go ahead and publish it for right now. And you can see that we now have this what is AI session that we just created. Now, the second option is to add the sessions in bulk to make sure the event organizers can, save time, especially if you are going to be needing to upload a bunch of sessions. So we can do that by clicking the Add Sessions button here again on the top right. And this time we're going to click the Download Spreadsheet at the top. And your device will download your current session spreadsheet where we're going to need to add the sessions to. So let me open it up for you here and make sure I'm sharing the right screen this time, which is going to be the Excel file. All right, there you go. Alrighty, so yeah, let's go through the fields for the sessions here. Have to make sure you'll have a successful upload once you have your sessions added in the spreadsheet. All right, so first is the session ID. So this is important as they cannot be duplicated, meaning there should be no session ID being used in multiple sessions. So it has to be unique for all of your sessions on the list. Let's say you put in 101, and if you're going to be needing to enter more sessions at once, you can just, put in the session ID in incrementing order, like 102, 103, and so on. And the session title right next to it, let's say, why is AI important? Just like that. And for the next three columns, the published, pinned, and a frozen. So these three columns are determined by yes or why or no, meaning yes or no. So if, for instance, you'd like to publish the session that you're creating, so you would put in why here. Otherwise, you can put in no, N for no. So it will be saved as draft only. So for now, we'll put in Y, and then for the pin, we're gonna put in no, and frozen. No, we don't want to freeze it right now. And then for the start date and time, you'll see the required format right below it, which is month slash day, month slash day slash year with the 12-hour format, depending on the time format will be depending on your event settings. If you've chosen 12-hour format, or otherwise, if you've chosen 24-hour format, you'll see 24-hour format here as well. So for the date, let's put in, for instance, December 26, 2024 at 9 in the morning till December 26, 2024 at, nope, 10 a.m. And then we can assign the track or the type of the session itself. Uh, let's say AI and business type of session as well. If I need to assign the subtype, I can type it in here too, as well as the session capacity. Let's say 35. And the session description right here. And another important thing when assigning or adding sessions is that you can also assign the speakers at the same time. That's why we ideally suggest to add your speakers first, just like what we did yesterday, um, so that when you're ready to add your sessions, you can also assign the speakers here. So let's say we're going to assign Michael Chang with a new session that we're creating. And just make sure that you are putting in the speaker's name as exactly as how they added to your event, meaning um, if it's saying Michael Chang in your event, it cannot be Mike Chang here on the speakers column. So it has to be exact same name. And you may need to sometimes assign multiple speakers in one session. So you can do that from here as well by adding the speaker's name under the speakers column. Just make sure you separate them with a um, semicolon symbol to separate them in between, just like that. Registration in charge is by default the moderators of the session, so you can assign them here as well. But for this event, it has been renamed to registration in charge. AI booths is the artist role. So if you need to assign your artist, you can do that here as well. Same for the sponsors and exhibitors. So, and then the session venue can be assigned from here as well. Let's see, the ballroom. And if you need to link an image file that is uploaded elsewhere, you can enter the direct link for the image file here. But if you only have the image file in your computer, you would need to upload that through the control panel, just like what we did earlier by clicking the add photo button. And then video stream is where you can put in your Zoom link, for instance, or Microsoft Teams. Session tags can be assigned here as well, which we're going to go through an in-depth portion later on. Level is the custom filter that we renamed just a while ago. So you can enter your custom filter values here. However, the host organization column is just for some of our legacy events. So for newly created events, you can just disregard this on your end. And then we have this feedback survey URL. So again, this is where you're gonna put in your survey platform link, like Google Forms or SurveyMonkey. That's in replace of the default session feedback on the last column, which can be turned on and off as well by putting in Y or N for yes or no. So typically, if you're going to be using the custom feedback, you would want to disable the session feedback for, or the default session feedback for your sessions. And then you can also assign check-in managers here by putting in the check-in manager's email. So what it will do is they'll get assigned to the particular sessions where you assign where you assign them from here. And once you have added your new sessions, you would save this as a new file so that again you can have a backup reference of your previous session spreadsheet. So this time we're gonna just add a number 2 at the end so that we can have something as an identifier. So now we can go back to our control panel right here. And we can now upload our updated session spreadsheet by clicking this select a file button. This is the updated session here. And you would click on the upload button to start the import process. And once it's successful, you will receive a notification in your email account telling you that the import has been successful. All right, and a while back we went through on how to freeze a session, but in some cases you may need to freeze all of the sessions as you'd like to prevent the attendees from making changes with their personal schedules at some point, for example. So you can do that under the settings and then general. So under the attendance section is where you can turn on the freeze attendee schedules from changes feature. So again, this will affect all attendees and all sessions, meaning all attendees cannot add any more sessions or remove any sessions from their existing schedules. Make sure you hit the save changes at the bottom so that it will take effect for the event. And also last Tuesday, I mentioned about skipping the session types and the session capacity labels for a more thorough discussion. So this is the part where we'll dive deeper into those right here. So let me just show you real quick what it does for your event by taking a look at your event site. You know, when you open up the preview event here to another tab. So you would notice that you have a filter by types here on the right sidebar that the attendees can use to filter out the sessions. So if, for example, as an attendee, I would only want to see just the AI business type of sessions. So I can just click on that here, and maybe all of the session types for AI in business, or instead the um, event kickoff type of sessions. I can just click that on the filter type on the sidebar, and it will bring up just the particular sessions with the specific filter type that I choose. And then You would notice that the sessions comes in different colors. So the session colors depends on the session type. So each session type can have its own color, which we're gonna go through in just a little bit. But another thing you would mention here in the sessions list or the schedule page is the um, session capacity label that says limited, full. So this way the attendees can easily determine which ones are, you know, still filling or the ones that are already full, so they can know which ones they can add to their personal schedule. Now, going back to the control panel, here again, that's under general settings. Right next to session types, you have the edit option, so you would click on that. And from here, you can um, basically manage your session types if you need to um, edit the session name here. From, let's say, the break, you want to call it lunch, so you can rename it that way. The session color can be changed from here as well by clicking this rectangular box here so that the color palette will pop up for you just like this. And you can choose your preferred color just like that. Or even delete a session type if you need to. And then you would hit the save changes at the bottom. Now for the session capacity labels, this is where you can edit them. So let's say for the full, you want to name it fully booked. And you would hit save. So now when we refresh here, you would say that the full label is now saying fully booked. That's how we just renamed it. And when it comes to attendees getting enrolled to sessions, typically they would choose the sessions they'd like to attend by adding the sessions to their personal schedules. But some events may require a series of sessions for the attendees to attend, and this is where the batch enroll feature will come into play. So with this feature, you as the event planners can easily enroll multiple attendees to multiple sessions at the same time. Let me show you how. So we're going to go back to your events control panel here. So first we're going to do is we need to create a people tag so we can have a tag to assign to the attendees. So that is going to be still within the general settings. And then we have the people tag here. So we click edit and then type in the new tag that you want to add. Let's say freshman. And then you would hit the add button and then the save button. Just like that. And you can now see that freshman is now added. So we can now assign that freshman tag to some of our attendees. So we're going to go into our attendees tab now, and then hit the attendees sub-tab. And to assign the tag, what we're going to do is to put a check mark on the people that would like to get associated to the tag by putting a check mark on them. So like Dakota here, maybe John Smith as well as Hart over here. And we scroll all the way up where we can see the bulk actions. So when you click that, you have the option to assign the tag like that. And then here you can get the drop-down list of the available tags. Freshman, the one that we just created, is what we're going to select right now. And then we're going to hit update so that you can see Dakota here has a freshman tag, as well as John and Hart. So we can then create a session tag this time. So going back to your general settings, and then we click on session tags, edit. Let's say maybe major courses, for example. And then we hit add, and then save. All right, so now it's added. And to assign the session tag, we'll go into schedule and then sessions. All righty. So let's say for this sessions here, you're going to assign the tags to them by again putting a check mark on them, and then scroll to the bulk actions options on the top, and then choose add tag. So from here, we can select the major courses session tag that we just created. Then we hit update. We can see that they now have the major courses tags. And from this page, we can now do the batch enrolling itself to the attendees or from the sessions or vice versa. So to do that, we're going to select the sessions that would like to add to the attendees by putting a check mark on them here. And then click the bulk action drop down on the top. And this time, choose enroll by people tag. And then we'll get this drop down option to select the freshman people tag that we created, where we got 3 attendees assigned to it. So we select that one and hit update. And you'll get this confirmation message. Then we would hit OK. And now if we go back here or view this session, you can see that the people with freshman tag are now added, such as Hart, Dakota, and John Smith over here. But to do it from the attendees page instead, so you would go into the attendees tab and then hit the attendees subtab. So from here, let's say we want to add Alodia and Jorge over here. And then you click the bulk actions and then choose enroll by session tag. And then you select major courses this time. So that's our session tag for the session that you'd like to enroll these attendees to, and then you would hit update. And there you go. Now, if we go back to viewing Elodius schedule, for instance, you can see that the 3 sessions with the major courses tag are now added to her personal schedule. But in addition to tagging, you can also use the people tags and the session tags for searching and messaging. So like from here, you want to search for a group of people according to their tags. You can choose the freshman tag from here and then hit filter. Now you can see the attendees who have the freshman filter. So same thing goes for the sessions. When you go into schedule and then sessions and try to use the search option, you'll get the filters here and then select the session tag you want to search for and then hit the filter button. Now, as far as messaging wise, we're going to go into the communications tab this time and then choose messages. And from here, you can message the attendees by their tags. So you hit the attendee, message attendee with a tag, and under the send to option, you can select maybe freshman, and then you can send out your message from here. Or message the tagged session attendees. So in the send to drop-down list, you choose maybe the major courses. So all the session attendees in all of those 3 sessions will receive your message that you would send from here. All right. So those are our topics for today. We can now take on your questions. So please go ahead and send them in the chat if you have any. And I will be happy to answer them for you. And we'll also email you the link to this webinar recording, by the way. So in case you will need to rewatch this, or for those who are not able to join, you can watch the recording at your convenience. Okie dokie. Well, there's no question at the moment, but I imagine they'll start to come in as you play around with your event more. So feel free to reach out to us at support@sched.com at that point, so we can take further steps for you. And that's it for today. I hope you now have a better understanding about adding sessions, how to pin and freeze them, batch enrolling, and session tagging as well. Thank you all for coming and have a great weekend.